Welcome. Good morning to Three Dudes and a Lady. Join us for a little inspiration, a little motivation, and a way to make it through your perhaps not too troublesome day. I am Mike Jones from Virginia. My gratitude this morning is Mother Nature. She's going to put on a show here in Virginia today, and it might be a Four Seasons day. I don't know. We might have everything. Yeah. If you don't like the weather, stick around. It'll change.
I'll second that here in North Carolina. But good morning, everyone. My name is Earl Rule here out of North Carolina. My gratitude is, yeah, for Mother Nature, but having a roof over my head since I'm on the third floor in an apartment building. So just gratitude for safety and getting on with my day.
Good morning, everyone. My name's Jay Anderson from the wild, wonderful state of West Virginia. My gratitude is for weekend family events. Nothing like getting with family over the weekend and enjoying time together.
That's awesome. Hey guys, I am Christine Rice, hailing out of the great state of Florida, presently at Clearwater Beach on a date trip with my husband. So that's my gratitude, is being in Clearwater with my husband. I love these quarterly trips we get to go on. So super grateful for that. And if you're not doing those with your spouse, I highly, highly recommend them. It brings you to a whole nother connection. So today Jay Shetty was talking about unlikely teachers, right? Have we ever been caught up in conversations with another person that brought us down, or maybe our cup wasn't full after talking to them? Maybe they took over the conversation. Maybe all they did was complain during the conversation. Or maybe they were talking about how much they knew, or how they were mean to the wait staff or whoever. Like maybe you've been caught up in those conversations with other people like that. How do you deal with that, right? Like he brought up a friend that went to this party and he was super excited about it, and he ended up feeling drained at the end of the night because he had all those experiences. And then he was like trying to figure out how to deal with it. And Jay brought up these three different things from somebody somewhere. One of them, I only got one of them down, and it said silence from the talkative, right? So somebody talks too much. How can we be silent in that moment, right? And how can we learn from those people? What can we learn from that interaction we had, right? Have you ever had any road rage from somebody? How do we learn from those types of interactions, right? We can't control if somebody gets road rage on us, right? But we can control how we react to it. Would you guys agree?
Yeah, I agree 100% on that as far as the road rage is concerned. You got to learn to be in your own lane. And when I say own lane, your own mindset. Because, there are going to be people, they're late for work, they're having a bad morning, they're going to try and cut in and out around you, cause an accident. You got to be self-defensive. You got to have a smart mindset. Just let that person go. Don't let it ruin your day. And sometimes it's easier said than done. But when you're in the moment, just focus on what it is that you're trying to accomplish. Are you going grocery shopping? Are you taking your kid to school? What are you doing? So just be mindful, and also whoever is in your vehicle too. So you got to have that mindset of self-defense, but self-discipline.
Right. And what about conversations? Like, let's say you're at an event, right? We go to conferences, right? You're at this event and you're talking to somebody, and the next thing you know, this person just takes over the conversation. You don't get a word in edgewise, like you don't get to speak, right? How do you handle that? Like, how do we handle that? Like Mike, Jay, Earl, like what do you guys do?
I think it depends on the conversation. If it's something that you agree on, I mean, yeah, let them talk and maybe you'll learn something from it. But if it's something that's counteractive, I would actually try to cut in the conversation in a polite way and say, "Oh no, no, well this is what I'm doing here," and try to be as professional and without being out of shape about it. But know your worth. I think that's an important thing. Know your worth.
Ooh, nice, big. That was strong. Know your worth. I was going
Yes.
to say, Earl, how do you feel when I interrupt you all the time? What's your counter to that?
Those are exactly, and I got it written on my wall. Know your worth with certain people.
That is,
Cheers.
Earl, that is strong. That is really strong. Know your worth, right? Because if we know our worth, does it matter if that person's talking? It doesn't, right? At the end of the day, that doesn't matter. We're just going to let them talk because we know our worth, right? Good statement, Earl.
Or know the
But
value of the conversation.
Mm.
If you have nothing to add and it's not going to better you, listen but politely break away when you get a moment.
Yes.
and on the subject of knowing your worth, if you're around family members that have a conflict of what you're doing, especially in this business, and they're going to have their opinion on it, there are some points where you got to take 2 steps to walk away and just say, okay, that is your opinion. I respect that, and just move on. Sometimes it's easier said than done to do that, but you're one thing, you're not going to be able to please everybody, but how you poise yourself and using the exact words just to walk away from people, be polite about it, I think is key. Because if you try to start an argument with somebody and really get in their face about it, who knows where that will go, and it could be useless information for all we know. So I think poise and posture, how we approach conversations, is very important, and that's something that you can learn from it.
Jay, you're being awfully quiet right now.
Well, I'm
That's because I
sitting
stole
here
the show.
because why?
Because I stole the show.
No, you actually bridged the gap in my thought process there. Uh, I was trying, I knew where, I felt like I knew where I wanted to start, but I wasn't sure how to carry in to where I wanted to go with what I was thinking. And you bridged it. And knowing your worth is a hard thing because you brought up a couple of scenarios there. One is the first thing that comes to my mind on this whole topic is the phrase, it takes two to tango. And I think sometimes we get lost on one-sided things versus maybe the combination of two people in a conversation. And so how do you bridge that gap to come to unlikely teachers? I think a couple of things happens. I think if it is we're the individual, I think sometimes we let our own stress, our own negativity get in the way, and it creates the unlikely teacher scenario because we're already emotionally charged about something, and sometimes we depict or receive information from another person that other person never meant to be that way, but we perceive it. So therefore, we irrationally throw out feelings and how we feel. How do you learn from this? That's a tough one because a lot of it is self-induced when you're perceiving other people the wrong way and you're allowing them to get under your skin. It's like me saying to Earl, I know I interrupt you. I know I do. Okay. Uh, it's a bad habit that I have. I know that. Okay. And do I mean any harm by it? No. You're on that receiving end. How does your mind process when I do it? And sometimes I have to let you be the unlikely teacher for me because I've done that to you. And in return, sometimes hopefully I'm the unlikely teacher to you because you do refrain from saying how you probably truly feel at that moment when I interrupt. I can't help myself. I try. I do try, but sometimes I can't help myself. Okay.
Jay, I
And
think it's the connector. I really think it's part of your connector voice. Most connectors I know will, and it's not like interrupting brashly, you're just interjecting your voice, right? And I really think it has to do with your connector voice. I really don't think it's any, because most connectors I know do that.
oh, well, there you go.
Yeah.
Maybe
So
that's
I
it.
think it's just part of your nature, right? It's just who you are.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's a bad thing. I mean, I don't, Earl may have a whole different opinion.
Well, let me just say this, and this weekend was a good example of it, just a little snippet of it, because I'm slowly getting into the building part of my business, talking to a few people. But the thing is, I'm a very direct person. I mean, can I connect with people? I can. But I'm the type of person, I mean, how many times have we seen people who are building, try to hire people that they think they're a fit for this business, and then they see their true colors come out after they were hired. And me, I'm trying to cut right to the point. I mean, in a polite, professional manner, using my voice in a very not a harsh manner, but getting to the point, because people, when they walk into this business, we're uh, licensed life insurance brokers, folks. By the way, just to let you know, for those of you watching, um, we if we're hiring people to join our agency, we want to make sure that they're a good fit. But sometimes you got to be right to the point with people, because they got to know what to expect, and if they're going to be a good fit or not. Because if you don't, and you don't connect with these people, it's going to be a problem. And I wrote down a whole bunch of things, which is a first for me, because I'm usually one that goes on the fly. I've learned my lesson about that one. But the thing is, no matter if it's building or anything else that we're trying to address, whatever it is, if it's a family conversation, if it's whatever it is that we're talking about to other people, yeah, we can learn from others. But the question is, what voice are we using to get to the point of what we want to accomplish? Because some people will just let it go in one ear and out the other. They won't listen to you, your words. And connecting with those people, I think, is key. And sometimes we can be our own harshest critics on it. So that's
Oh,
why.
for sure.
So I think that that's very important. And I'll take two steps back.
Okay, real quick, I'm going to switch gears here because I want to hear you guys' opinion on what if somebody's being rude to somebody? Like he brought up, Jay Shetty was talking about the engineer, and I have one of those in my family who's rude to people. Not all the time, but like just so what happens if somebody's being extremely rude to somebody else? What do we do then in that situation?
Jay, you want to go first?
Sure, Earl.
Wait, Earl, can I interrupt you? Just to let you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's happening. That's what's going to happen here.
I think I have a friend who can be like that. If the food comes out and there's any unsatisfactory portion on that plate, the food gets sent back, and I've seen that a time or two. Uh, and I think what during those moments when I'm sitting there and I witness that happen, I respect the fact that this person is, hey, I'm paying for this food. I'm paying something for this. So the expectation from that is I've come to a restaurant, a place to eat. A place to eat is supposed to have good food. So therefore, I need to speak. So sometimes that's the unlikely teacher portion that I see. Then I start thinking, because he talked about one of the second things that he talked about. You're talking about silence, Christine. The other one was, how can you be kind when there's unkindness? And I think that comes into play. And I think, are we aware enough in the moment to be able to say, hey, man, this is a learning moment. Soak it up just a little bit. That way you can say, I don't want to do this in my life.
Right.
And
Yeah. And I think that's what Jay's trying to get at. And I have a prime example of this from last night when Mike and I went out to dinner. Like we went to this restaurant. We usually go to it every time we're here, but there's two locations. So we went to the other location that we don't usually go to because they're both within walking distance. Like literally, it's crazy. They're like not very far from our hotel, like 5 minutes walking. One way, one the other way. We get there. We are sitting at the bar because there's just two of us, and otherwise we had to wait. And we can see the water. It's a beautiful view. We had a couple drinks, and we ordered our food, and it hadn't come out. But Mike and I were fine. Like we were just, chilling, right? And all of a sudden the bartender comes up and he's like, I'm sorry, guys. He's like, now I could blame this on the cook staff, right? But I'm gonna just take ownership. And he's like, I messed up. I put your shrimp tacos were coming out instead of your dip, right? He put a weight on. He just messed up whatever he was doing, right? There's nothing we could do about it, right? And I told him, I was like, I appreciate you owning your shit. Like you owned it, and you have no idea how much that means to us. Like that meant more. We gave him a $20 tip for a $60 bill. So because of that alone for us was huge, right? Because he could have definitely blamed it on somebody else, and we would have never known the difference, but he would have, right? And that just shows his character as a person to be like, I'm sorry, I made a mistake, And it's not like Mike and I were not mad at him or anything like that. We just told him, thank you so much for owning it. It means a lot.
That's so huge. I think we as humans, when we recognize someone owning up to whatever it may be, I think that one, well, first you have to recognize, is it sincere? And if it is, then you know what, this person at the very least has been raised in the right direction. They owned it. It's not easy to do that. It's because you don't know what the reaction is going to be to whoever you own up to your mistake. And so there has to be a level of uncomfortableness right there.
Right. Yeah, because that situation could have went either way, right? Mike and I could have been pissed because we didn't have food,
Could have gone south. Could have gone south easily.
Right. Yeah, we could have got up, walked away. There's a lot of stuff that could have happened, right?
Earl.
I want to give you guys an example of me Saturday night. I was invited to somebody's birthday party. It was kind of like a surprise birthday party, but it was at a major restaurant. I'm not going to name the name of the restaurant, but all I can tell you, it's a popular place, and they're famous for their steak and ribs. But we had I believe it was about 8 people with us. Now, I was under the impression that they made reservations, and I got the text message, we're going to meet at 6:30. I said, okay, perfect. I walked, of course, the place is hopping. It's Jim. It's a Saturday night. I get it. But it took us almost 30 minutes to get seated, and they had to use 2 different tables to seat us instead of putting us all one big table. And that didn't sit well with some people, but it was okay with others. But we actually made it happen without creating a fuss about it. And when you're dealing with restaurant people, it could be an adventure, as we all know. And
Sure.
and also yesterday, I was at the grocery store picking up a few last minute things, and of course I go after the sale items, buy one get one free, and big specials. I happen to see a big special. Now, I'm not big into frozen dinners and stuff like that, but what I'm trying to do is cut my proportion control what I eat. So they had a big sale. It was like 4 for $10. So I'm thinking in my head, okay, they're $2.50 each, but I don't want to buy 4 right now. I just want to buy 2. So I was expecting to give me the discount on that price or what it was supposed to be, and in the register it didn't happen. But the lady was kind of rude to me. She said, "Well, she goes, if you read the darn sign." I said, "Excuse me, I just thought maybe I know," but I handled it in a very awkward not awkward, but very professional manner. So I learned something about that. But Saturday night's dinner, we were there till a good 8:30, and we were rambling on about college basketball. I kept my mouth shut. I said, "Don't, I that is out of my league." So anyway,
Mr. Jones.
Mine too, Earl.
Yes.
Where's your wisdom?
Well, first of all, I think Saturday night's ACC championship game, only saw the second half, but it was the best half of basketball I have seen in a long time.
Wasn't it though? Wasn't it though?
If I ever have a volleyball team, I want that guy from Virginia on my team. Set a NCAA, he set an ACC championship record for rejected shots.
Oh my gosh, it was nuts. Now,
Yeah.
UVA had a chance. That's all I got to
They
say.
did. They definitely had a chance. And on to Philadelphia. But this whole conversation about restaurants, I don't recall ever having something so bad meal-wise that I have sent back.
Same.
Now,
Same.
Me too.
it's an adventure. It's kind of like what Jay Shetty was saying. You learn from unlikely teachers. I learned what not to order at certain restaurants, right?
Yes, true. So true.
Yeah. And sometimes I would just, get adventurous when it comes to food. The whole topic of rude people. I think if you're rude to somebody at a restaurant, a wait staff who, they're paid less than minimum wage. Most of them are struggling college kids or people rejoining the workforce and trying to support their family. So, it's intolerable to me to be rude to them.
For sure.
And if you're nice to them, you might benefit from it because they'll be quick to refill your water or offer you something else.
Yes. Yep, for sure. If you're nice to them and treat them respectfully, or how you would like to be treated, they're probably going to reciprocate, right?
Yeah.
Even if they're having a bad day, right? If you can shine a light on them,
yes,
it's going to change the whole demeanor.
We all have bad days.
For
Agreed?
sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's the thing that when I first started it, what I said was the statement, it takes two to tango, comes into play.
Exactly.
And I just think that has been something that I've tried to think about in moments that I'm like, this is odd. I don't care for this type of setting here. Whatever it may be. Okay. I will tell you this. I think the title is one that we do not recognize, but I feel like it is a title that happens every day to a degree somewhere within our lives. And I think if we can master of paying attention to the fact that there are unlikely teachers every day to us, maybe we become the better peoples.
Definitely become the better people. Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way not to.
I can't help to think that, but folks, I think it's easy to see we're not licensed therapists, but such great topics like today, unlikely teachers, are stuff that we get to listen to every morning from the app Calm. Jay Shetty is in that app. We like to listen to what he has to say. He brings to light a lot of things, and it allows us to open our minds up. And hopefully we do become better peoples. I know you can't say that, but I did. There it is.
And that just happened.
And don't forget to please like, share, and subscribe for more content. Please come back for more, and we hope you have a great day.
Peace.
All right, Mike, you got to stop the recording.
Okay.